Okay, here we go again. I'm cutting the wax with my wax pen. I guess it's a lot easier to cut with the wax pen than using the X-Acto blade. In my previous video I rec I played a couple songs that I made with my music making program, and I was planning on just playing those songs over and over again on these videos because, well, on the rest of the videos that I had so far, because I figured that it would be more pleasant to just watch what I'm doing instead of me talking all the time. But I don't know how it would be. I think since I'm not a musician, those songs, uh, I don't know how people would be able to take listening to those songs over and over again while watching my videos. I think it would start to become annoying after a while. I wanted to explain, well, I don't know if I explained myself well enough when I was talking about human anatomy and reference material. I might be just repeating myself, but I think it's important to know um, how to use anatomy, how to use reference material when you want to sculpt something, even if it's you know even if it's a fantasy character. When you're creating a character, it's always good to have reference and knowledge of human anatomy or anatomy in general, like pictures of horses, different types of animals, gorillas, apes. Um, there's reference human anatomy reference books that have animals in them, which could be very useful if you're thinking about doing a character development, character design. I think I mentioned before that it's not always good to do everything out of your head. We, as being creative, creating a character, when we're talking about creating a character, uh, you need, well, I don't know, I'm speaking for myself. If somebody's curious about, how am I supposed to go about this, how am I supposed to approach it, I would suggest to um, collect a bunch of references as much as possible. You have to know how to draw. Have to be able to put it down on paper, throw ideas together. Go on the internet. If you're like thinking of a character, oh, I want it to look like a gorilla, but I want it to have gorilla features in some areas, and then in some areas I want it to have lizard features. but I wanted to have at the same time human facial features. So I think that it's good to be creative to a certain extent, and then you Frankenstein all those pieces together, and that's pretty much what I would do. I would look up pictures, uh, Google Images. Always do that. It's it's a terrific resource for finding stuff that you can use for your characters. So, you have to be good at describing what you want to look for. You type in, if I wanted um, to a human face, I would just type in face in Google. Sometimes it's not good to be too specific. If you're like saying I want, if you type in gorilla chest, human face, lizard legs, you probably won't get what you're looking for. So just use Google. You have to use Google a certain way. It's kind of, and sometimes it's hard to find what you're looking for. So once you find all your images, I usually put all my images in a folder in my pictures folder. That part of Windows that everybody has. I think it's called My Pictures or Pictures, and I have a big old collection in both in my laptop and in my desktop, just images and images. Every time I do a project, I usually create a new folder, and I try to, when I'm looking for images, I try to get as many different views as I can of what I'm trying to reference, such as the front facing view, side view, back view. It seems that back views are the most difficult reference to look for, because images are taken mostly from the front view, because that's the recognizing feature, the front of people's faces. So that, because of that, it makes it nearly impossible to find a back view of a reference, unless you have a DVD player in your computer, which most people have. And I think that if you're doing a character, a specific character from a film, you can go search on the timeline and then search for that character and try to find a view of a back view when that character is turned. And I've done this before. When I was working on my Joker bust, I found really great views using the DVD player in my computer. And then once I found the view, I paused it and then I pressed print screen on my keyboard, and then I opened up Photoshop or Paintbrush. I think it's called Paint on Windows on my operating system, and I pasted it into that program, and it came up. And then I cropped the images, the side view, the back view, front view, and then I imported those images into Photoshop and resized them uh, so that it was a special project that I was working on. I was working on a stencil technique, which I'll probably show in a later video. Uh, but it's using a DVD player if it functions well with the print screen, then it's very useful if you're trying to sculpt a bust.